Rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie. You're listening to the fighter's voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fighter's Voice podcast live with a special Saturday edition. We made it Saturday so we can get the take of these fighters, our guests tonight on tonight's big event, and also a recap on last night's top-ranked major boxing event. Ladies and gentlemen, with us by way of Zoom, I want to say in studio. Maybe one day he will be in studio. But as of now, by way of Zoom, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is the undefeated sensation, the one and only Nico Ali Walsh. Welcome to the show, Nico. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to have you. You know, questionnaire has been coming in like crazy, and, you know, everybody is kind of asking the same question, you know. So I'm going to bypass those for a little bit, and we'll get to that towards the middle of the show. But, hey, you said you're in Vegas. How's your stay in Vegas, man? Is that somewhere you reside, or are you just up here for the fight, for training, or what's going on?
Yeah, no, I live here in Vegas. I've lived here for a majority of my life. So, but I'm just, you know, doing a ton of moving this weekend for the Canelo fight. You know, Anthony Durrell's fighting tonight. So, yeah, it's just an exciting night tonight.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. You said Anthony Durrell, correct?
Yes.
Okay, he's taken on one of our own. When I say one of our own, because I'm from Fresno, California, Fresno's own Marcos Madman Hernandez. Tell us about your relationship with your buddy, and how do you see this fight going?
You know, I've seen Anthony in the gym throughout the camp a few times, and he looks great. His mental is great, and he's got the right people around him. So I'm rooting with him. I sparred with him, with Anthony a few times during his camp, and he's going to look great tonight. I definitely don't see it going the distance, but he's definitely going to be victorious tonight, I believe.
Hey, there you go. You got it from the man's take himself. And those of you who don't know, who maybe been on another planet or just don't know the sport of boxing, let me introduce Nico. He is the grandson of the one, the only, the greatest ever to do it, and that's Mr. Muhammad Ali himself. That's his grandfather. And, you know, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, you have that DNA, you have that special cloth in you. And how does that feel, man?
You know, it's awesome. I love the fact that there's a bunch of people within the sport that are kind of doing that, fall under that same category of continuing something special. You know, it's not just me, so I really love it, and I think it's special.
No, Nico, it's not just you, but not everybody comes from the greatest in that DNA. So
right.
That is a special DNA.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, it's I've been around boxing my whole life just because of that alone, and I'm really glad that everything has worked out the way it has in a boxing now.
Nico, I've watched you, and you're very athletic. When you were in boxing, were you playing football at all? Did you go swimming? Did you play tennis? It looks like you could have played multiple sports.
Yeah, honestly, no. I'm a one-trick pony. Boxing has been my first and only sport I've ever participated in. So once I got into boxing, I loved it. I stuck with it, and now I'm taking it, you know, extremely serious. And I'm just looking to learn and improve.
Well, I mean, you're making us all believers and followers with your knockouts and just your movement and what you bring inside of the ring.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, my coach, my trainer, Sugar Hill. He likes knockouts, and you know he was raised in Kronk, so
preach it, brother.
That's what they're all about, and I'm very happy and proud of myself that I've been able to do it thus far. And my next fight is December 11th, and I'm looking forward to putting on hopefully my best performance yet.
Yes, you will, and I want to bring up Sugar Hill coming from the Kronk gym. Emmanuel Stewart. The late, great Emmanuel Stewart. I had the privilege of talking to him multiple times on the telephone, meeting him. Very nice man.
Really?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And he is the only trainer in boxing that will train his fighter for a knockout because he didn't like decisions. he made it a point to
Right.
get the knockout.
Yeah, well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree in that case either. And that's what sugar teaches, and it works. I mean, you've seen it with Tyson Fury's last fight, so it works.
Yeah, and prior to that, you saw it with Michael Moore, the body snatcher, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, and the list goes on with that Stewart DNA. So you're in the right camp, and, and you're in the right position. So
Yeah, no, I've got the right people around me, definitely.
listen, questions are coming in crazy, and one that just keeps blowing up. It says, "What's your relationship, and what's it like chilling with Flavor Flav?"
Oh my gosh.
Rap artist.
Flav is my godfather, but more than that, he's just like family. I mean, he's the closest thing that I will get to family that's not blood related. So
Public
that's
enemy.
Flav.
Yeah. And another question related to that: will he ever escort you in the ring as the hype man in maybe a song coming in one day in your future?
Actually, so my next fight is in New York, and Flav is from New York. We've got something special planned for this next fight with Flav being involved for like the entrance and whatnot. The next fight's going to be very special just because it's Madison Square Garden, and a lot of people are coming out to support for that one, and that one's just going to be a real special night.
And Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's an honor that I'm able to fight there.
I was most impressed with your team when I met you in Las Vegas on the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury trilogy, and just how well spoken and well mannered, and just how kind and nice your whole team was, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean my team doesn't seem like a boxing team at all. They're professionals.
I seen you that pic.
They hold themselves that way. They dress that way, and they act that way. So I'm learning from them. That's the way I want to carry myself, and that's the way I love the way it looks.
No, you're in the right position. Coming from Las Vegas and Top Rank being your promotions, leading up to that signing with Top Rank, I mean, was it just everybody coming at you at one time, or was it just an easy decision for you to sign with the promotion Top Rank Boxing?
No, honestly, I always was. My goal was to become pro. But if I was ever to go pro and sign with anybody, it wouldn't be anybody aside from Top Rank, just because Bob Arum promoted my grandfather's fights, almost the majority of his fights. It was like 27.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had a great relationship with my grandfather, and I wanted to continue that on. I'm a man of tradition. I believe in tradition, and I love that stuff. So I wouldn't have signed with anybody else.
Very well said, and that does make sense.
Yeah.
Early in the show, we had a former world champion, Regis Rigaroo Prograis, and he has a question for you. He said, "Ask Nico Ali Walsh, how far does he really want to go in boxing? Is his grandfather, because his grandfather Ali, we saw how boxing affected him in a positive way. Being that where great comes from sacrifices. Does he truly want to be great like Muhammad Ali, or does he just want to box just because? And how does his mother and aunts really feel about him following his grandfather's footsteps?"
Well, to answer the last question, my mom and my aunts don't want to see their son or nephew getting hit, and it's inevitable to get hit in boxing. So they love that I'm continuing the legacy, but at the end of the day, they are, my family, and they don't want to see me get hurt. But I would never go into boxing. I would never take it professionally if it was just a box. I'm definitely looking to make a name for myself and continue the legacy in a great way, not just just getting out to box and just get my name recognized. That means nothing to me. So I'm definitely in it for the long term. And honestly, whatever I'm taught, wherever Sugar Hill takes me is that's where I'll go.
Very well said. This next question is coming from former welterweight champion of the world, who's going to be taking on Terrence Crawford next Saturday, and that's Showtime Sean Porter. He says, I saw Nico's last fight. I saw much improvement. I saw the composure. I like what I see. Oh, yeah, I like his team as well. Make sure his team outside of the ring is just as strong. Challenge yourself. Praise negativity. Positivity will come on its own. Appreciate all that you do because it has its place. Just make sure that you always work for it and know that there's a lot against you, but you have a lot to prove and you have all the attributes to be great.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, Sean Porter, I've watched him for years. So the fact that he knows I'm fighting and, I actually saw him last night real quick. I've never formally met him, but yeah, that's awesome, and he's absolutely correct. Having the right team in boxing is essential, especially outside of the ring. There's a lot of people that want to take advantage of you, but the people I have around me are the right people. They're perfect.
Well, it sounds like you got a WOW team assembled and you got the right people around you.
Yes.
Knowing that, I mean, that's an easy puzzle. I mean, putting that thing together, or was it something that you worked on? And sometimes it becomes difficult because you have people that are close to you that want to be part of the team, but they may not be the best fit to take you to that next level.
Yeah, no, you know what? It just happened, and I'm truly a believer that everything happens for a reason. I believe in fate and destiny, and I think it's destined that I met with the people that I have, and I'm where I am right now. I'm very blessed and happy to be where I'm at.
Listen, there's a big fight, as you know. We're just hours away, and you mentioned from the top of the show, the Canelo and Caleb Plant. How do you see this fight materializing as it goes on, and who do you have being victorious at the end of the bell?
I've been a Canelo fan for so many years, so I cannot say anything bad about Canelo in any way. Like there's nothing I can't even comprehend the way he is. He's just that unique of a fighter. He's one of my all-time favorites of all time. So tonight's fight is going to be absolutely amazing. I can't believe I get to see Canelo in person. It's awesome. I'm really excited for tonight, honestly.
So, I mean, I guess that's a no-brainer. You have Canelo being victorious tonight.
Yeah, but, Caleb is no slouch. He's a real fighter. They're both just so respected, and I like them both so much. It's so hard to pick, but I've been a fan of Canelo since I just started out boxing. And, I have so much loyalty and respect with him that it's hard to go with anybody different.
I'm sure you were at the weigh-in last night. Of course, you were at the weigh-in is where I saw you at Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, the trilogy. How long before you see yourself on that type of platform on the big stage?
Honestly, I don't know. Time will tell. I'm happy that I've received a lot of pressure and attention in just the small amount of time I've been in a professional boxer. And I've been able to handle that very well. So I'm really looking forward to, if I'm at that stage at some point in the near future, I'm really looking forward to that. I like to think that I absorb the pressure and I see it as an opportunity. So it's just a blessing at the end of the day.
Amen to that, brother. I got to ask you this question right here from a personal friend of mine. His name is Shelly Hollis, great videographer in a part of the Fighter's Voice team. He said, ask my man Nico, what's his auntie's cooking like? And he's talking about Layla Ali's cooking.
I haven't tried her cooking directly, but she has spices and stuff that she sells, and that's great.
So you haven't sat down there and really had dinner or tried one of her plates just yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Well, I'm sure you're in for a treat because she takes pride. Hey, my man, how we doing, my man?
What up?
The one and only himself. Hey, give some. No, it's okay.
For a second.
It's okay. Give some love to the Fighter's Voice podcast, and you're our future guest.
Bang, there it is.
Thank you.
I'll give you back to Nico.
Hey, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just moving with sugar. We're it's a busy weekend, but I'm super excited for tonight, for Anthony's fight, and obviously to watch Canelo.
And I know, you know what, I appreciate that. And I know me and Sugar, we could chop it up because I got some stories to tell about our conversations with Emmanuel Stewart. Some stuff that I still have on telephone because back in the day when I would interview, I'd write for the paper. You know, I couldn't write it as fast as he would talk it, so I would record it. I went to Radio Shack, hooked it up, and so our interviews were on the phone back in the day with cassette players. But, yeah, we can chop it up and have some good conversations, I bet.
Yeah, no, I mean, the amount of stories, I believe you. There's got to be countless amount of stories.
Absolutely, man. I want to ask you, man, I mean, growing up as a child, did you, once you used the name Ali, I mean, just pressure must have even came, even from your teachers. Did they look at you differently? Did your friends say, man, what was it like? Do you still get that every day, or are you used to it because you grew up with it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to get used to it. I've always felt pressure of being who I am outside of boxing, just in school, just acting right, and just being a good person. I felt that pressure, but it made me into the person I am today, and I just try to treat everyone right, and the pressure made me do that. So I'm glad I had it.
Hey, man, I got to ask you this, man, and this is coming from Lee Samuels. He said, make sure you ask him this, and that's Hall of Famer Lee Samuels. He said, what's your favorite magic trick you like to perform?
I've got a new magic trick that I do all the time now.
Is that knockouts?
There you go.
It's not knockouts, but it's card tricks. I feel like I'm good at card tricks, so I can do card tricks. If you hand me a deck of cards, I'm sure I can surprise you and pull some tricks on you.
Well, there you go. I mean, we'll be looking forward to that. So listen.
Oh yeah.
You got the big fight tonight, and then you got the big fight next Saturday. But you got your own big fight December 11th, man. Madison Square Garden. I mean, the magnitude of just walking into the Garden, man. Has it overtaken you yet? Have you consumed it yet, or are you mentally prepared for that already?
I'm definitely mentally prepared for it already because I don't see it as pressure. I see it as excitement. People my age and people with my experience don't get to experience that. So, the name has gotten me to this position, but it's also puts on the pressure to perform. So the name is a blessing and a curse, but I tried to look at the blessings, and it's just an honor at the end of the day that I get to fight at somewhere like Madison Square Garden. There's no better place.
That's quite a privilege. Yesterday, some news broke out, and it was dropped on ESPN Top Rank Boxing's card that undefeated welterweight and possibly the next welterweight sensation, undefeated Virgil Ortiz Jr., parted ways with future Hall of Fame trainer Robert Garcia. What's your take on that news? Is it good for Virgil? Is it good for Robert? Or is it just a power move?
Honestly, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's sad to see people leave their trainers because a lot of the times it comes down to money.
Frank's
which is
on.
Stupid.
Bring Frank on.
But I don't know what they're going through. I know they're very well respected guys, so being that that's the decision that was made, it had to have been the right one on both ends, by both parties. So I wish them both the best.
Frank Estee from Top Rank, he said he was hanging out with you last night, man. What was that like hanging out with the man himself?
I see him every time I go into the Top Rank gym. That's my dude. So I'm going to see him tonight, and we're going to hang out tonight again.
There you are. We're bringing him on the show right now. So you get to talk about that. And, yeah, Frank, go ahead and turn your phone around, Frank, because you're kind of sideways. Look like you in a – yeah.
There's Frank.
Yeah,
right here?
There you are. And then, there
Frank,
you go. That's perfect.
Out, man. Frank.
Yep.
You're missing out. Where you at, man?
I heard I missed out a couple hours ago.
Right now. Yeah.
My man.
I'm gonna see Frank tonight. We're gonna be hanging out tonight.
I want to say something, Rich, about Nico, right?
Okay, remove that
Nico
poster, please.
is one. He's definitely something boxing needs, man. He's really truly one of the.
Thank you.
There's a lot of good guys, but he's really a good guy, man. You get to see him at every fight.
Move the Crawford poster.
Fans come up to him, want to chat with him. to take pictures. And, Nico's just chilling, man. He just, he's out there hanging out with his friends, his family, his coach, but he takes like his time out to chat, talk with the fans, take pictures. And it just shows you, man, the kid's a star. I think his career is going to venture on pass boxing when he decides he's won enough titles. And it's an honor to know him, man. He's a real good kid, real good young man, and is developing into a great fighter.
I agree with you. He has that personality.
I paid him to say that, so that's why
he did.
I think
We had this all put together. So.
Oh, that's what the delay was.
When I come to MGM, have a nice thick envelope for me. But no, Nico is the truth, bro. He's good. Like if anybody, like I said, if you get a chance, you're at an event. If you're at the MGM tonight, stop and chat with Nico, man. He really truly knows boxing. Like he does know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
He's a fan, and that's what I love. Look at these guys behind him. They think they want to attack you anyway. Look at them. Can they hear me?
What's up? I can hear you.
No. But that's what I said, man. But like truly like a star in the making. He's got a superstar in the making. He's already a star, but he's going to be a superstar, and it's one that's really good for the sport.
Nico, when you hear that, and this is coming from a man who's witnessed boxers go in and out of the ring in their career, at the gym workout, when you hear it coming from somebody that holds water, how does that make you feel deep down?
It's awesome. I love hearing it from Frank in particular, because Frank is one of those guys that he's real, he's honest, and he won't just say something. So it means a lot. I'm just looking to prove people right. It's better to prove people right than to prove people wrong. So
Man.
That's what I want to do.
And along with your journey, I got to ask you this, man. And I didn't get to ask you on the top of the show. What was it like coming in with your grandfather's shorts for your first fight? The traditional white with black stripe Everlast, the one that come to the mid-thigh. And how did they fit you?
Honestly, the truth behind that is you've got to thank Sugar that I was even wearing those, because I was supposed to have my own custom shorts. But then before I left for Tulsa, I spoke with Sugar on the phone, and Sugar said, just bring an extra pair of shorts just in case the Everlast ones aren't ready. And I said the only extra pair I had was my grandfather's. And he said, just bring them anyway. And I brought them. My shorts weren't ready, and then I ended up having to wear my grandfather's. It was completely unplanned, but it wouldn't have happened if Sugar didn't tell me to bring it. I was really reluctant to bring it, actually.
Well, and you know how that worked out.
Yeah, no, they're special. They're special shorts.
That itself was the passing of the torch alone.
Yes, no, that's why I retired them. I'm not going to wear them again, but they helped for that first fight, and that night was amazing.
Now they stay in the case exactly where they belong. Let's talk about
Exactly.
your new walkout gear that you're going to be wearing in Madison Square Garden. Who's it designed by, and can you give us any hint on what to look forward to?
Well, me and Sugar are working on. We're classic people. We don't like anything extremely out there. Sparkles, tassels. That's just not my style. That's not Sugar's style. So me and Sugar are working on a classy color scheme for this next fight, and I think everyone's gonna love it because it's just classy and it looks original, and that's what it's all about, honestly.
Who's your designer for that? I mean, you don't just go to the store and say, okay, I'm going to buy that. I mean, who's designing it for you? Who's feeding you?
Honestly, I just talked to Sugar about it. We have the same exact taste when it comes to what we're wearing, especially when it comes to fight gear. And Sugar pays homage to the old boxers, the vintage boxers, and that's what I do. So we just spoke on it, and Everlast is going to make the shorts happen. And it's gonna look great. It's gonna look amazing, actually.
I'm looking forward to that, man. And I would always want somebody to take it back one day and rock them gold with red that says Kronk right on the plate one day. No, actually it's right on the thigh, and then the name on the plate there, like back in the day, like Thomas the Hitman Hearns and the rest of the original Kronk fighters.
Yeah, no, definitely. One day, definitely one day.
Frank, you got to see Nico in and out of the ring and watching him in the gym. How have you seen his progression from day to day, and most of all his attitude towards the sport of boxing?
So Nico will tell you, like I kept it real with him in the beginning. You know, him coming into Top Rank right away, and him obviously linking up with Sugar. It wasn't going to be easy straight off the bat. And you know, in the beginning, it looked a little rough, but the progression, you know, there's things happen for a reason. You have a teacher in Sugar Hill who knows how to get a fighter ready. And, you know, it took up until really the week before his professional debut in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to go and say, oh my God, he peaked. So he had Nico peak in preparation for his pro debut, literally the last day of training. You just saw it and you're like, oh, okay. And he did the same thing with Tyson Fury. And for his second fight in Atlanta, he came back. I think Nico really said, hey, I'm a professional now. So I'm going to take a little bit of time off, recover from obviously his pro debut, he didn't take any damage, but the damage that he took where he had to recover from training camp, from getting prepared. He came back right away and he trained and he came back in shape. You seen a big difference. He was a professional athlete. You know, he looked like a professional athlete. He conducted himself like a professional athlete. And he'll tell you this, he's still a work in progress. And seeing him come back, he worked out yesterday and, now he's a pro. He started out, he came into this an amateur. Everybody's going to have questions and, people are going to get different answers from Nico. People are going to criticize. People are going to be happy. But like I said, man, he's a professional. And as long as he stays dedicated and he works hard, he continues the work ethic he has, he continues listening to his team, his coach, Sugar Hill, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a big superstar and a world champion in the next coming years. So the progression, every time you see it, every time you see him in the gym, it's just better and better. Just the progression. It's a lot of people. I tell you this, Rich, you have to have patience. You're not going to be, Nico will tell you one of his favorite fighters is Canelo, who's fighting tonight. Canelo didn't become the best fighter in the world in 3 fights like Nico is right now. He knows you have to have patience. Yeah. If you don't have patience, if you have bad anxiety and it prevents you from being patient, you're going to have a rough time in boxing. You are really going to have a rough time. But he comes in every day with a great positive attitude. I don't know what goes on in his day-to-day life. He might have some issues outside of the ring, but he doesn't bring it in. He comes in. He asks questions. He asks his coach, hey, why am I doing this? How can I do this better? And he does it every day. He puts in the work, and that's the most important thing. And that's why, that's what I respect about him. Because you'll think this is the one thing he's going to always have a bullseye. And the second, when you have a famous name and you're related to arguably the greatest athlete of all time, you're going to have that bullseye. You're going to get that criticism. And Nico's not here we joke around like, hey, you should have done celebrity boxing. You should fight Jake Paul and whoever. But he's for real, bro. He is for real. And every time that I see him, man, I'm proud to say the little time that we've known each other, I developed a good relationship with him, and I'm 100% in, man. I'm all in with Nico, Ali, Walsh, and we're gonna have to get him a nickname. I think what did they got you a nickname? What's your nickname they gave you? That Mark Chinook introduces you as the second coming, not the second coming. It's something like that. The legend lives on. The legend lives on.
That is what he said.
But we got to get him a better, listen, all due respect to the greatest Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
We got to get him Nifty Nico or something
well,
like that.
You know
he
what?
Needs his own nickname.
Well, let's announce that today here on the Fighter's Voice. Hey, send us your best nickname for Nico Ali Walsh. We're taking all comers on any ideas. And if Nico happens to pick one, maybe he'll send you an autographed glove or a ticket to his next fight. I don't want to step on anybody's shoes or promise them something we can't deliver. But hey, here on the Fighter's Voice podcast, let's do it.
We can get it.
Okay, let's do it.
I see this guy every day in the gym. We'll get it, man. You want an autographed glove? We'll get it. Don't worry, Rich.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it here.
We need 100 submissions. They can't be 3. We
Yes.
need 100 submissions, and we need a show just dedicated to Nico picking, at least for one fight, picking a nickname that the public desires.
That'd be hilarious.
How does that sound, Nico? All the subscribers here, man, they'll send in their take on your new nickname only here on the Fighter's Voice. How does that make you feel?
That sounds fun. That sounds great to me.
Nico, can I be honest with you, man?
Yes.
As you were walking in the lobby there, I couldn't help but notice that it's the MGM Grand.
Yes.
And I couldn't help but get effing jealous right now because my happy ass should be in there walking with you. It's fight night. I'm fighting off this cold, which there was no way in God's green earth, unless Jesus came down himself to stop me from doing this show, that I was going to cancel today's show. There was no way. What you don't know is I was down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got up Saturday with a new attitude and said, we're going to make this happen. I was not going to stop at all, period. But I should be in Vegas with you right now covering these events. And I'm a little jealous, Nico, as I see you walking in the lobby.
You will be soon. You will be soon, and I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. But you'll be here soon for sure. There's going to be a ton of other events,
and it's going to be one of Nico's events that'll be next, and possibly walking in there with you, because I noticed all the signs and stuff, and I'm going, man, I know that walk, I know that background, it looks good, I should be there, and so it's coming soon.
Oh yes, and yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I was supposed to be in my room, but it changed. Like I had to go to a press conference with Sugar and stuff. So, but definitely, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you have guests come back on the show. Next time I come back, I want to hear about these names.
Hey,
these nicknames.
Exactly. You heard it. And I'm going to be pushing for that. I'm actually going to take this clip and I'm going to put it out there, and Frank's going to co-sign that right now. I don't know if you can see the show because it's on live right now on YouTube. And those of you that haven't subscribed, it's www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. I'm looking at Frank right now. He has his hood on and he looks like a freaking Mexican Jedi right now.
Oh, man.
Well,
a compliment.
It is because that hood's coming on right now. He has this deep look, like he's not looking at you, but he's looking through your soul.
The only thing, I might be disconnected from you any moment.
I completely understand.
I mean, he wants to go. He has to go. It's just a polite way of saying my phone's about to
die. And we're gonna exit you out because I know you do have a lot to do.
It's like changing. It's like changing the screen.
Okay, Nico. Before I let you go, what do you have to say to all the viewers and the fans that follow you and support Nico Ali Walsh?
Thank you so much for the support. And please continue to support and tune in on December 11th because that's going to be really, really great. I'm not just saying that.
Well, Nico, I don't have your personal address, but what I will do is send you a T-shirt of the Fighter's Voice along with a nice hat of the Fighter's Voice. I'll send it to Frank, and I'll make sure Frank delivers that package to you. How does that sound?
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for coming on, Frank. I want to keep you on. Nico, take care of your business. Enjoy the fights tonight, and look forward to your fight. Look forward to seeing your fight at Madison Square Garden. And I guess Frank will party with you later.
Awesome. Yeah, Frank, I will see you soon, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Nico. Enjoy. God bless you. Frank, I want to talk about that getup you got on, man. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking kind of deep. It's looking kind of prehistoric. It's looking kind of Jedi-ish, and you fit the mold, man. Let's bring him on full screen.
It's a little cold. I was just covering up my bald head, and I just figured it would give a new ambiance to my appearance here on the Fighter's Voice. The only voice that matters, my man Richard Ortiz doing his thing. I got a firsthand thank you for
Fix his name.
all the shine that you give top ranked fighters, man. It's a great place for them to come on here and give it the real, man. I think Nico will be a recurring guest, that you're going to enjoy, your supporters are going to enjoy. He's not just talking about himself. I would just have him come on the show, maybe have with a round table, because in a discussion just about boxing,
sure,
he really knows his shit, bro. He's real. If you go in there and you can discuss, when you Regis Prograis and I were talking about Crawford Porter, we all kind of had different opinions on how we thought the fight was going to play out. Nico's just as intelligent as far as with a good boxing conversation. But definitely middleweight prospect, Nico Ali Walsh. He's got he knows it himself. He's got a big shadow cast upon him, but it's a shadow that he's going to develop and become into his own fighter in the next couple of years. So nothing wrong with him having that bloodline, but you're going to see, man, he's developed. I saw you had a question. I have, I'm in my office right now, and I have, I have the fighter's voice of always playing, just in case I miss any episodes. I got that stuff there, just playing episode after episode when I'm in my office. But I saw he had a question pop up and was asking him where he got the power, that right hand. That's that Kronk right hand. Sugar Hill, who learned the Kronk system from Emmanuel Stewart. That kid has an amazing right hand. That 1-2, the jab, and if you watched his last fight, the one thing I was really impressed with Nico was his body attack. I think that's something he should incorporate more going into future fights, to set up that Kronk right hand, that Tommy Hearns Midwest right hand that just puts guys out of commission. So that's something I'm looking forward to. It was his progression, his development as a fighter is just seeing the different aspects of his attack, his defense, obviously every aspect of his game right now, because he's a young fighter. He's only 2-0. He's going to need improvement. He's going to have to learn on the job with experience.
Very well said. I couldn't have said it any better than yourself, Frank. And let's talk about that right hand in the Emmanuel Stewart with the left hand laying low. That actually baited the fighter to come within range of that right hand. And nobody did it better than Thomas the Hitman Hearns. And I'll go to my grave arguing with that. The most potentest right hand ever in the sport of boxing.
Oh, indeed. If you follow the Big Four. If you followed that Big Four era with all those guys, sorry, I lost you for a second. That was there. I don't think too many people could have compared. We always talk about who had the best left hook, but still, for all these years dating back to the '80s, Tommy Hearns, best right hand, I would say. Has a really nice right hand in Canelo. He's gonna put that. I'm sure he's gonna put that on display tonight too. But Roger Mayweather, probably the guy who had the second best right hand.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about that.
The Kronk right hand and the Mayweather right hand. All the Mayweathers always had that right hand, from Floyd Sr. Roger Mayweather probably had the best right hand, and then Floyd Mayweather, who was a defensive wizard, but also snuck that right hand. And a lot of people didn't see it.
Well, let's not forget about Julian Jackson, the Hawk. I mean, that right hand put people. They were snoring before they hit the ground.
One of the most monstrous punchers of all time, right there. You just mentioned.
Frank, we need to have like a trivia one day. I mean, I'm sure we can come out with our own board game, man. I mean, because we can sit down and talk about modern boxing today, back in the day, when the sweet science first began, and where it's at now. And I understand the business side of it, because everybody wants to get paid for their risk. But you as a matcher, I've asked you this before. I mean, what fight that just needs to take place? Not necessarily to save the sport of boxing, but as boxing fans and boxing followers, what fight really needs to take place by the year 2022?
So, I mean, we kind of had. I was hoping we were going to see Fury and Joshua, but obviously that had a wrench thrown in it. There's a good chance we could probably still see that fight. But with Usyk dethroning Joshua, we lost a little luster on that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the 135-pound division, and it's because it's a rivalry, because these guys, they just don't like each other, and when there's bad blood, man, you're going to have a good fight, a really good fight. So with that being said, I'm going to say Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. Now, I think
lost your screen.
I'm sorry.
I lost your screen for a little bit. Yeah.
The calls coming. Calls are calls coming.
Oh, okay. I get it.
It's
only Mike Tyson calling you, but it's okay. I appreciate you staying on the show.
No, Mike can wait. He's I'd say that's the fight. That's one of the fights that have like the most bad blood in it. We wanted to see Ryan Garcia and Tank, or Ryan Garcia and Teofimo. The lightweight division has those guys.
Yeah. I
think another fight is Teofimo and Vasily Lomachenko rematch. Should Lomachenko and Teofimo get through their upcoming opponents? I think the public wants to see that, and I'm kind of buying into it myself. Is that fight? And I want to see eventually. I want to see Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz fight each other. I want to see. I still want to see Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. But there's a lot of hurdles to get those fights done. But I think because of the bad blood and her jaw jacking in the media, I think Teofimo and Devin Haney will be an exciting event. Hopefully it happens in 2022.
Well, that's a fight that we would all love to see. And if it does happen at this point, we don't know. If it does, it signs today. Who do you have in that fight? Give me both winners. Give me the fight and then give me the rematch.
I have Teofimo stopping Devin Haney. And listen,
okay.
Takes nothing against it's nothing against Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney is a special talent, man. I watched that kid go in the gym, and really he's the first one in, the last one to leave. And I respect that.
Reminds me a little bit of Terry Norris.
Yeah, you can use that as an example. But I think Teofimo, the thing is with him, man, I think he's capable of knocking anyone out within 2 rounds. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a 2-round fight, but if he doesn't get him out in the second round, I think he stops him like between 7 and 9. But I think a lot of people would get excited, and these guys would talk so much shit about each other. And I was there. I witnessed them spar twice. There 2 sparring sessions that they had, and it got a lot of coverage. A lot of people talked about it. Both fighters, both Teofimo and Devin, both said that they beat up the other one in sparring, got the best of the other in sparring. And people always ask me, Frank, you were there for both sessions. What really happened? I said, I'll either save it for my book if the fight never happens, or I'll give my side of the story.
Frank, let me stop you. Let me stop you right there, Frank. You write a book today. What's it called?
About boxing?
Yeah. Hey, you just said your book. You made
all
reference
over
to your
the
book. I want to know what's your book going to be called, so I make sure to buy it.
Shit. I don't know.
That's
bro.
a pretty
like,
good.
I would say just keeping it real in boxing, bro. And that's the one thing like I can say, man. You know, there's a lot of liars, bullshitters in this game, but doing all that is just going to delay your progression as a human being, or as a whatever it is you're doing in this sport, in this business. So I would just say, it would just be me keeping it real, man. I don't know, something with keeping it real, bro, because I bullshitted my way into some things and out of some things, but at the end of the day, man, you got to keep it real with yourself, and then you got to keep it real with whoever you're dealing with, and I promise you can't lose, whether it's an unpopular decision or not. If you keep it real and not go sideways, people see that eventually. It may not make everyone happy. That's the one thing you can't do. You can't make everyone happy in boxing. There's going to be some people you need to disappoint. There's going to be a lot of times you're going to use the most powerful word in the world, the word in the vocabulary, and that's no. You can't always say yes. Sometimes somebody will ask you for something, and you might say to me, "Hey, Frank, hey, can I get 2 tickets for Canelo's fight tonight? Can you get me 2 tickets?" And instead of me just saying, "No, Rich, no, I can't." No, the answer is no. Instead of me saying, "Oh, I'll see what I can do. Give me a little bit of time," and deep down inside,
that's pretty bold, man, to ask for that.
Prolonging it. It's just keeping it real, man. Just say no, man. You just say, "I'm sorry, I can't. There's nothing I can do. I don't want to do it, or I can't do it." All right.
Frank, do you get that a lot? Do you get that? Hey, Frank, do you think you can? Hey, Frank, do you get that?
Yeah, and listen, it gets annoying. Don't get me wrong, I get that all the time. I mean, I have nothing to do with tonight's fight, but of course someone will say, "Hey, you got any extra tickets laying around?" Absolutely, there's no such thing as extra tickets laying around in boxing. We're in the business of selling tickets.
Yeah.
I work for the promotion, so we're selling tickets. Very, very rarely do I get some comps for me, especially in Vegas. I live in Vegas. My family's here in Vegas. I will invite family or someone personal outside of boxing, or I'll use my couple comps to basically build a political bridge, just as maybe I would hate to even say it, but as a bargaining chip for future things.
Sure.
But I mean, there's no such thing as extra tickets. I don't
That's
know
good
anybody.
business.
It's a pain in my stomach when I ask, the people at Top Rank that are in charge of tickets, if there are any tickets. I just feel dirty afterwards. I have to go get a shower for me even asking that.
I know what you mean. I can concur at times. What you'll get from me is, "Hey, Frank, if so-and-so shows up, let's get him on the show." You'll get that from me every single time. I'm never going to stop. That's just who I am. I mean, look at the way the show. Look at the way. What was that?
I'll tell you too.
I know you will.
The guy. Listen, there's guys like this. A lot of people they'll see me with someone or whatever, and I already know. Because either one, I've asked, or I heard someone around them ask. There's just certain guys. They got a big name, and they'll bring a lot of attention to. They're going to get views. They're gonna bring in some numbers. But there's certain guys that, it's almost a waste of time just asking. You know what I'm saying? Like if you said to me, Terrence Crawford, unless Terrence Crawford was in this building right now with me, and he walked in and said, "Hey, bud, here, you throw a couple questions." But he's just the type of guy that, it's not the biggest fan of interviews. When he's contractually obligated to do media, he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury, another one. He looks like, that guy sells a fight better than anyone. He's probably one of the best promoters in the game just himself. But to get him not in promotion, if he doesn't have a fight coming up or anything like that, it's really not worth asking. And I'm not saying because these are the big cream of the crop type of guys, but it's just hard to ask. It's just hard to ask, and hey, can you please do this for me? And you don't, not saying for you, but for anybody, you don't know what they're getting themselves into. And they may not have a good time, and they may say to you, "Hey, don't ever ask me to do this again." Or they say, "Hey, that wasn't that bad. I wouldn't mind doing it again." It's just some of these guys, they put if you're like me and you're with these guys in training camp, especially the guys at the world championship level, they're preparing for 12 rounds. Everything is on the line. They're out at the development stages. When they're on top of the world, when you're on top, where's the only place to go? You either maintain and stay where you are, or you got to go down a notch. these guys don't want to go down a notch. They want to stay where they're at. They want to maybe try to create a new notch to go up to. So it's hard for them when they give so much in training camp, when they give so much to their promotional obligations, where they're so sick and tired of answering the same questions, talking, because it does become mundane. You know this, Rich, being in the media. You'll be in a scrum. You'll get someone in there, and then if you ever when you ask them a question that's a run-of-the-mill type of question, it seems like they had that answer prepared because they probably did. They answered a similar question so many times. But that's what I like about you. I like you. You know, you get to the basic questions. Obviously, that's traditional, and that's what you're supposed to do being a journalist. But then you also slide in some fun stuff here and there, and that's what I like about you. But you know, these younger fighters that are trying to make a name for themselves, look at the guys that you talk to now, you know, that you have on. You know, you have Jose Ramirez. You have, you know, he's been a champion a long friggin' time. Yeah. But you had him before he was, you know, the big main eventer, and he's always a big main eventer. I'm just using these guys as an example. But these young guys that you're talking to now, that you're giving that platform to now, in a couple of years, they'll be world champions. And then they're going to remember and say, hey, look, I always had a relationship with Richard Ortiz and the Fighter's Voice. And then they'll come back. And then you have that. Then it's going to be guys coming to you. Yo, Rich, you always have so-and-so, Nico Ali Walsh, on your show. Can you hook him up and get us and get him on our thing or whatever?
Frank, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. You know how many people reach out to me and they basically want my black book? That you work so hard and it's full of trust. My black book is full of trust. I don't just give it out unless heaven forbid there's somebody lost their home and you know, or they're fighting cancer. I may consider going that way, you know, but it's like me saying, when I had Co Escovedo on as a co-host, that's like me saying, hey bro, get Nick Diaz on the show or get Spider Silva on the show. He knew when to bring them on or when to reach out. I never said open up your black book. These guys, Frank, on a daily, hey, Rich, can you ask this guy this for me? Or can you get him on our show? And I'm thinking, bro, you're already on TV. You're already established. So are you going to get me Conor McGregor as an exchange? So I just I said, look, I'll work on it. But I'm not that guy. You know, if you happen to bump into him, I'll say a good word. But I'm not just going to say, hey, Frank, I'm going to give out your number without permission and another fighter's number. I wouldn't do it. That's career suicide.
No, and that's why you the one thing is you don't want to ever compromise any relationships. And that's why I tell you, bro, the most powerful thing you can say is no, man. It's the best. Yeah. Because if I say to you, hey, Rich, can you give me Nico's number? And I already have it, but I'm just saying you're going to instead of you saying, you know, let me deep down inside, you're saying, why is this dude asking me for this guy's number? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not cool with it, the second someone asks you for something, instead of just, beating around the bush, just say, hey, no, I'm not comfortable with doing that. I don't want to compromise my relationship with this person.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
The next time I come in contact with them, I'll say something, but I'm not just going to call out of the blue, hey, you mind if I give this guy your number who you don't know? I mean, I would just say no, because if you just said, instead of beating around the bush and saying, you know, let me see, you know, I don't know if I have it in my thing, or instead of beating around the bush, I'm going to be expecting something. But if you flat out, I ask you and you say no, I'm going to be, you might have stunned me for a second by just saying no, but then I'm going to go, oh, okay. Because then I'm not going to have a why. Oh, well, why? Why can't I have it? And you just say because. It's just no. Just say no or yes. That maybe is the worst thing you can say.
I agree with you, man.
No, yes, no. That's it. And I got to still practice what I'm preaching right now.
It becomes difficult too, even for myself, you know, because to say no right then and there, you know, it's an ugly word, but it's a true word. Who do you got coming in there right there?
That was Jared Anderson.
Oh, okay. Listen, before we close, No, go ahead.
Nothing too big. Only the best young heavyweight in the game today, the best prospect.
Oh,
in the
big.
game.
Oh,
And
the
you know
real
what?
big baby.
Yeah, he's not
Oh,
even a prospect now.
Yeah.
He's a co-main
Hey,
event.
tell him I said hello. Actually, I made contact with him about bringing him on the show. I like to maybe get him on someday. But no, he's the real deal.
I mean,
Jared.
I wish he could see you, right? Because I mean, I got it on TV. We're a little delayed on TV.
Actually, he may remember because I gave him a shirt when I saw him.
All right, here. He's always on the phone. Jared, Richard Ortiz, the fighter's voice. Just say what's up. We're on his podcast right now. So again, real. He's got to get the training. He's got a big co-main event.
Yes, sir.
December 11th at
Hey.
Madison Square Garden. So shoot it out.
Look forward to seeing you there. I gave you a T-shirt, The Fighter's Voice, man. I got to see you rock it. You said you would tag me on IG. Hey, waiting to get you on the show, my man.
I got you.
Hey, we're a big supporter of the real Big Baby. Keep up the good work, my man.
Thank you.
You got it.
So yeah, I don't even want to call him a prospect anymore. He's not the best prospect anymore. He's the best young contender in the heavyweight division right now.
That's
So-
very well said. And see, ladies and gentlemen, the followers and viewers, only on the Fighter's Voice can we make things happen like this. So, Frank, you're going to be a fan favorite. They're going to say, hey, make sure you have Frank on the show during gym time because we can make things like this happen. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and it's real, and it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. It's not. Listen, you can still be positive, and you can still deliver good energy, and just say no. It's okay. Listen, you can or you can't. That's all it is. And listen, there's no such thing as a stupid question, man. You got to ask questions. You can't. If you need a favor or you need help, ask for help. And if the person you need the favor or help from just so happens to say no, well, we got to respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's just that.
Absolutely.
You know, Rich, anything that I can do, any of my resources that I know I could provide to you, you're my friend. You know, it's a phone call away. I'll tell you, I don't think so. We've asked. We shot for the stars before you and I. And what did I say? I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I was kind of beating around the bush, but in a way that was no. You know what I'm saying? So other than that,
Yeah.
you know, if there's, you know, we'll work on things. Evan Korn, who's the director of media relations for Top Rank.
Evan Korn is becoming one of the most powerful men in boxing. Now he may not want that. He may not want that title. He may not want that platform. But Evan Korn is a future Hall of Famer and becoming one of the most powerful men in boxing.
He is. He's the best in the business, and it's insane how dedicated he is to boxing. He's super dedicated.
Very sharp too.
He's like, and I mean, I know he's not going to like this comparison, but I like to think like Rick Morigian is like a mad scientist. You know what I mean? He's just crazy, but he's the best at what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's dedicated, and you got to be crazy to be in boxing. You know
That's
what
a
I'm
great
saying?
that's a good comparison, but nobody comes close to Evan.
No. What Evan does, listen, there's no body better in PR. There's not there's great writers, there's great columnists, but man, the way that guy does, I mean, I couldn't even explain to you what he does. You know what I'm saying? His phone has to be open. When Bob has something for him, he's got to deliver. And the great thing is because he's such a good writer, he'll write press releases and he gets them done so fast. And he does that once in a while. He'll give it to me to proofread because I'm a stickler for grammar, and very rarely does he miss anything. And he doesn't miss out as far as grammatical errors, but there's always like and I'm honored because he's the best I've ever known. Over a decade involved in boxing, 8 years with Top Rank. I've never seen anybody better than Evan Korn.
Very well said.
And I'll say to her, hey, don't you think you should use this word instead? Sometimes he'll say, get out of here, get out of here. Or he'll be like, yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. And then he puts it in there. And then the master, it's like the artist painting the portrait. And he let me put a dot in it. And I'm just like, I'm honored because he is the best at what he does. And I know he's a big supporter of the Fighter's Voice. I give Evan a hard time all the time, but I got nothing but love for him. Not all the time. He knows I love him. but you know, we're on a team, man, and we all just do our jobs, and it's everybody in Top Rank, and they're, you know, whether I get along with them all the time or I don't. Not just saying Evan, I get along with Evan all the time, but whether somebody I butt heads with or not, everybody who has a position in Top Rank is the best in boxing, the best in the world, and it's an honor to be a part of that team.
Well, you know what, Frank, it's an honor to have you on the show, and you know, I'm going to let you do what you do best, and that's man the gates. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your input.
What I do best. I sit at my desk and I watch new episodes of The Fighter's Voice. So that's what I do best.
You're a true supporter, man, and you're definitely one of the few that are allowed inside of my circle, man. I got a very small circle. It had a leak. I fixed that leak, and now I know who I got locked in, and you're one of them, my man.
My man, that's love, bro. Rich, anytime, bro. Thumbs up for Richie, all. Man, just tune into The Fighter's Voice. I'm telling you right now, bro, it's Richard Ortiz is in the prime, and he's only getting better, man. He's delivering hot fire multiple times a week. But the shows, I mean, listen, the shows he has, it's pay-per-view quality, bro. We're pay-per-view stars, future pay-per-view stars. I'm just telling you, man, this is a guy who started from the bottom. He's worked his way, and I'm telling you, man, you're becoming one of the best in the fucking world, bro. And that's why I respect you, man. You stuck with it through the hard times, and it never gets easy. Even when, like I said, when you're at the top, you got to fucking work harder just to maintain, because there's people ready to knock you off your spot, and they'll do it by any means necessary, man. But all you got to do is just work hard and go to bed at the end of the night and say to yourself, yo, I put in a productive day. I can say to myself, I did what I had to do. And you did, and you're doing it, bro. So kudos to you, man. Keep grinding. Fighter's Voice, best in the game. I know I'll be back. You know I tune in. You know I show up in the comments sometimes, throw some curveballs at some of the curveball questions at some of the fighters. So yeah, tune in, show your support, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on The Fighter's Voice. Follow The Fighter's Voice on Instagram. Always some fire content by my man Richard Ortiz.
Enough said. It's a wrap here, Fresno, California, with the one and only Frank Stay. Thumbs up for Richie.
Let's go.
Because a lot of changes.